Welcome to our deep dive into some of the world's most impactful books. Today, we're tackling a book with a pretty radical promise that the secret to getting extraordinary results isn't about doing more, it's about doing less. We are breaking down The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan, a guide that's all about cutting through the noise to find what really truly matters.
So let me ask you something. Does this sound at all familiar? Your to-do list is a mile long. You're running around from morning till night. But at the end of the day, you just feel drained. You feel scattered. And those big, important things, they're still undone. You know, this feeling of being constantly busy but never really productive, that is the exact problem The One Thing is here to solve. So what is the big solution here? Well, the authors call it simply the one thing. And it's this incredibly powerful idea. Extraordinary results, the kind that change your life or your career, they don't come from juggling a massive, overwhelming to-do list. Nope, they come from focusing on fewer things. It's all about making a radical shift from total clutter to absolute clarity. And how exactly do you find that clarity? Well, you use this one single powerful question that is the absolute heart of this entire book. Here it is. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? Now, this isn't just a question you ask one time. Think of it more like a compass that you use to guide your actions every single day. But here's the thing. Before we can really embrace this kind of focus, we actually have to unlearn some really bad habits first. The book argues that our modern culture has basically sold us on 6 big lies about success. These common myths that are actually derailing our progress. Let's dig in and break them down. So here they are, the 6 big lies that hold us back. The idea that everything on your list matters equally, that multitasking is some kind of superpower, that you need superhuman discipline to succeed, and that your willpower is like a battery that's always full. And then there's the belief that a perfectly balanced life is the ultimate goal, and this weird fear that thinking big is actually bad. Now, these might sound like solid advice, but the authors say they're just illusions that lead us straight to average results. Okay, let's tackle a huge one, multitasking. I mean, we're all taught to admire people who can juggle a dozen things at once, right? But the truth, and this is backed by a ton of research, is that multitasking is a total lie. It just makes us more distracted and way less efficient. See, every single time you switch tasks, you pay what's called a cognitive cost in your time and energy. The real path to amazing results is through single tasking, giving one thing your intense, uninterrupted focus. Now for one that might be a little controversial, the myth of a balanced life. We're constantly told to keep everything in perfect harmony, work, family, health, hobbies. But the authors argue that to get extraordinary results, you have to be willing to go out of balance, at least for a little while. The goal isn't a permanently lopsided life, but what they call counterbalancing. You go all in on your one thing, and then you intentionally swing back to take care of the other important areas. It's more of a dynamic dance than a static, perfect pose. So, now that we've busted some of the myths that have been holding us back, it's time to build the new framework. This next part is all about the powerful truths of success. These are the core principles that will create unstoppable momentum toward your biggest goals. And this right here is the perfect metaphor for the core principle, the domino effect. See, success isn't something that happens all at once. It's sequential. You don't try to knock over every single domino at the same time. You pour all of your energy into the very first one. That's your lead domino. That single well-placed action creates a chain reaction that can topple goals you once thought were totally impossible. Your job then is to just find that first domino. So how in the world do you find that crucial lead domino? Well, we come right back to that same powerful question we talked about earlier. This is your tool. Whether it's for your career, your health, your relationships, for literally any goal, you ask this. It's specifically designed to cut through all the trivial stuff and point you directly to what's vital. It completely shifts your mindset from what could I do to what must I do. Okay, but just identifying your one thing is only half the battle. The next part is you have to fiercely protect the time to actually do it. And that's where a practice called time blocking comes in. This isn't just, another entry in your calendar. This is an unbreakable appointment with your most important goal. It's sacred time. No emails, no phone calls, absolutely zero interruptions. It's the time you dedicate solely to that one lead domino. I love this quote because it reframes the whole idea so beautifully. Time blocking is like making an appointment with your future. When you start to look at it that way, you realize you're not just managing a schedule. You are actively and intentionally building the exact future you want, one protected block of time at a time. All right, let's bring all of this together. We've unlearned the lies, we've learned the truths. So how do we actually apply this whole framework to unlock those extraordinary results in our own lives? Well, the secret is to think really big, but act incredibly small. This takes us back to one of those lies we talked about, that big is bad. The truth is, thinking small pretty much guarantees small results. It's the big, audacious goals that force you to grow. They push you to find smarter answers and to build the powerful habits you need for a real breakthrough. Big goals are the catalyst for innovation in your life. But what is it that fuels this entire engine, especially when things get really tough? It's purpose. Your one thing becomes exponentially more powerful when it's connected to a larger mission. Purpose is your why behind the what. It's a source of perseverance that helps you push through all the obstacles, because you're not just completing a task anymore, you're living on purpose. Honestly, if you only take away one thing from this entire explainer, let it be this powerful summary. Success is not about doing more. It is about doing less, but doing the right less. This right here represents a fundamental shift in how you think, from a mindset of just being busy to a mindset of being truly effective. It's all about clarity, focus, and the relentless pursuit of what matters most. And all of this brings us to the final and I think most important question, the one for you. This framework is powerful, for sure, but it's just an idea until you actually put it into action. So I invite you to take a moment today and really ask yourself, based on your biggest goals and your biggest dreams, what's your one thing? Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into amazing books. We'll see you next time.